The Chronicles of Ancient Darkness by Michelle Paver were the first books that I read this year. I read all 6 in quick succession and I absolutely loved them. So I'd like to go through them with you here and give you a few of my highlights and try and encourage you to read them too, because I think everybody should. Hi, I'm Tina and I'm addicted to books. I buy bargain books to read and then resell. I will try to avoid major spoilers, but as I'm reviewing all 6 books, there may be some, so you have been warned. The Chronicles of Ancient Darkness started as a 6-book set with Wolf Brother, published in 2004. Michelle Paver then wrote one a year up to 2009. In 2020, she revisited the series with Viper's Daughter, quickly followed by Skin Taker and Wolfbane, which was published in 2022. These last 3 books, unfortunately, I haven't read yet. I'm looking out for them and hope to read them soon. All of the books are beautifully illustrated by the artist Geoff Taylor. You probably know his work from the covers of Raymond Feast, Catherine Kerr, David and Lee Eddings, and he also does work for Warhammer and the Black Library. He's just an amazing artist and he really brought these books to life. The books are set 6,000 years ago. They're skillfully written and have incredible detail about the hunter-gatherer life and the world of ancient man. Michelle Paver describes some of her research in the acknowledgements of each book, and the amount of effort involved really shines through. The world building is incredible. You really feel that you are there in the ancient woodlands and frozen tundras of prehistory. There are 3 main characters: Torak, who is 12 when we first meet him, and about 15 by the 6th book, i.e. an adult in this time. He's a boy who discovers who he is and his place in the world after the loss of his father. His friend Wren is a strong, independent girl of about the same age. She's a great hunter with the bow and has knowledge of herbs as well. And her character really develops as we go through, and she's very strong-willed and strong-minded. And then there's Wolf, who I would argue is actually the main character. Wolf starts out as a cub that has lost his pack, and he and Torak become brothers. He calls Torak Tall Tailless, which is really funny. And he has his own character arc as well. The story is written from the point of view of these 3 characters at different times, and the parts where Wolf is the narrator really captures his wolfiness and his down-to-earth, see things as they are attitude. It's so endearing and humorous at times, and it really lifts the story and helps to carry it along. And he's not anthropomorphized like you get in other books with talking animals. He's not humanized in any way at all. He is totally wolf, and you can really feel like you're in the head of the wild animal. To illustrate her amazing attention to detail, let me read you a small snippet from Wolf Brother, page 164. Before heading for the scree slope, they'd each gathered a faggot of firewood and prepared a little piece of fire to bring with them. To do this, they'd cut a small chunk of the horsehoof mushroom that grows on dead birch trees and set fire to it, and then blown it out so that it was just smouldering. Then they'd rolled it in birch bark, pierced the bark a few times to let the fire breathe, and plugged the roll with beard moss to keep it asleep. The fire could be carried all day, slumbering quietly, but ready to be woken with tinder and breath when they needed it. A small pot like this was found with Otzi the Iceman, and it shows the author's knowledge of the prehistoric world. Another small section I liked from Wolf Brother was this one on page 212. People were frightened, and when people are frightened, rumour becomes truth. So true. I gave this first book 4 stars and quickly moved on to the next one. Book 2 took us to the sea and the coast and saw Torak's character develop in personality and explored his heritage further. Wolf and Wren were great too, and we get to understand them a little bit better. It was a nicely woven tale like the first, with excellent survival and nature detail. Here's one of my favourite parts. On page 46. And babies. Until last winter, Torak had never seen one of those. Why can't it walk? He'd asked Wren. What does it do all day? She had laughed so much she'd fallen over. Ah, that was great. I gave book 2 4 stars as well. Book 3, Soul Eater, was another wonderful tale of Torak, Wren and Wolf. This time in the frozen north. I made a note of page 2 because it really summed up Wolf. And in context, Torak headed downhill as silently as his beaver-hide boots would allow, not silently enough for Wolf, who flicked a reproachful ear as he moved over the snow as soundlessly as smoke. I gave Soul Eater 4 stars too. Outcast was another great prehistoric tale of Torak, Wolf, Wren and the character Bale, who had been introduced in an earlier book. Torak made quite a few bad decisions in this one, especially considering his past experiences, but he came through in the end, and it was a lovely, easy read. But I gave this one 4 stars. The 5th book, Oathbreaker. I was a little bit frustrated with Torak in this one, but it all came good in the end. On page 111, I put down my thoughts that I was getting a bit fed up with Torak, always trying to go it alone. I would have thought by now that he should realise he does better with Wren, Wolf and the others helping him. I guess it's a teenage boy thing, but given the period it's set in, you'd think he'd be more mature and aware of the danger he's putting himself in. It seems in every book he's following the same pattern of keeping secrets and trying to do everything himself, and it's starting to wear a bit thin now. But I have to admit, by the end of the book, he had redeemed himself. I just hope that he's finally learnt to trust Wren and Wolf and that all 3 of them work together to end the evil in the last book, without the same pattern of trying to go it alone like a moody teenager. So I gave this one a 3.5 because, yeah, Torak really did annoy me. Book 6, Ghost Hunter. This was a fabulous end to a fabulous series. This one was a real page-turner, exciting from start to finish. Wonderful descriptions of the mountains, survival and prehistoric times. The animals were beautifully detailed and the story well crafted. I'm going to miss Torak, Wren and Wolf. I give this one 4.5 stars. All of the plot elements from the books were tied up nicely in the end and left the 3 characters with a bright future. I'm really interested now to try and get hold of the last 3 books that she wrote to see where she took these characters and what the final outcome was. Have you read these books? Do you think they're excellent like I did? I'd love to hear your views in the comments. I recommend you check out Michelle Paver's website and some of the videos that she's got on there talking about how she did her background research and stuff's really fascinating. I'll link it in the description below. I hope to catch up with you in my next video, but for now I'm off to read a book.